I want to start off with Frank B's post about notary fees, my favorite and least favorite topic to talk about. And by the way, if by chance you are watching now, I don't think anyone is, but if you do watch and you have a question for me, go ahead and type it in the um, comments or the chat, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, so Frank made a post, I'm going back to it, about fees. He said he ran into someone who was complaining about the notary fees the signer was charged. Um, Frank says when the signer described the documents, he asked Frank what Frank would have charged as a notary fee. Frank said he would have quoted $40, and that made the signer livid. The signer or signers, no, the signer was charged $120 for the notarization. All right, he had a receipt that showed two jurats, two oaths, one witness, a digital service fee, a print and copy fee, 12 pages. What do you think? And for some reason, when did you post this? Oh, only yesterday. All right, or early this morning. Here are my thoughts, Frank and everyone else. If you don't know, um, you need to know that Alabama plays a big role in how much we can charge for notarizations. So I want to start there. I also want to advise or remind some of you that I've talked about this before. Alabama authorities are on the alert because notaries in certain counties, several counties have been charging more than the state allowed. So keep that in mind. But if this person, if I were the notary, I just want to share how I would have handled it based on what I see here. So, first of all, what I don't see here is a travel fee. No mention of travel. That implies to me that the signer went to a business or traveled to a notary and requested service. Okay, so my quote should not then include any travel. As you know, we're allowed to charge $10 for each notarial act. It's not perfectly clear in Frank's post how many notarial acts were performed. So I do want to encourage each of you, when you are issuing receipts, be very clear and enumerate or be really clear. I don't know why I can't think of the word I really want to use, and itemize, call out notarial acts. All right, because saying that on the receipt that there were two jurats and two oaths, well, a jurat automatically includes an oath. You follow me? Also, this does not tell me how many signers were involved, but I'm going to assume it's one signer, okay? And that one signer had 12 page document or total of 12 forms, and it required two signatures from the signer, two oaths from the signer. I'm assuming, I have to assume. And then there was a witness. I don't know if the witness needed to be put under oath or not. That matters. I'm going to assume the witness was just there to watch. So five. Mm, if the witness was there just to watch and sign, that's not a notarial act. So there were four notarial acts. 10 times 4 is $40. Should have been the notary fee. Digital service fee. Maybe it could be that the signer had the notary fax or scan the notarized document somewhere else, but charging $30 sounds excessive to me. The print and copy fee, that sounds like to me that the signer had their lawyer or someone email the blank forms to the notary who printed them out and on behalf of the signer, $20. It's, it's not cheap. um, Now the math there should only come to $80, 30, 60, 70, 80. The man said he was charged 120. Something is definitely off. So Frank says he quoted $40. It sounds like Frank only charged per notarial act, which would be correct. Frank has the option to add on travel fee, a reasonable travel fee if he wanted to. He does not have to. It should not matter to me, to you, to anyone, whether Frank charges for travel or not. So I think if the signer is telling the truth, he had a receipt. And if the receipt is telling the truth, the notary involved could, it could be viewed that they, by the state, that they charged, the notary charged an excessive amount. Hang on just a moment. I've got an alert popping up letting me know that I have way too many tabs open and it is pulling on my memory. There we go. All right. So if you have questions about um, my math, let me know. I'm looking at my laptop over here, reading, following along. So you gotta be careful because if the signer wanted to, he could very well call the probate office in the county where the notary's commission was issued and file a formal complaint against the notary, which could open up a formal investigation, which could lead to serious consequences for the notary. And for those who are saying or thinking, well, Michelle, how are you supposed to run a business if you're only charging $40? I need you to remember it was never, ever Alabama's or any state's um, plan or expectation that we would use our commissions to start a business. Okay? That was never in the cards. That is something that evolved over time. And so you got to keep that in mind. That's that won't be a good argument to make, especially when you're being investigated. So to come up with your print and copy fees, I encourage you to call around town where you live and ask FedEx Kinko's, UPS, and the other types of companies, what would you charge to print black and white a 12-page document? And I think you're going to find it's going to be very little, in the single digits, a few dollars. I'm not saying that you can't charge a little more than that, but if you charge a lot more than that, it could be viewed as excessive. And it is against the law now for us to charge more than what the state allows. Okay? So that is my comments, Frank. And Frank, I really do appreciate you giving us a peek into your notary experiences in Mobile County and being here, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good night.